Wow, wow, finally we are here. So sorry for the delay. I'm not so sure what went wrong, but the network provider took so long before they connected me. I think they're having a network lag or an issue presently. So sorry for the delay. We've been trying to connect for a while, but I'm glad we are here together, connected finally. So, just a minute to notify everyone that we are live because I saw a lot of people came in and they had to go out as it wasn't connecting. So sorry about that. Yeah, it's going to be a great time together, of course, as usual. And then to this teaching is it's something that is power packed. It's something that is going to help us. So it's a continuation of the series we started about four videos ago, or let me say 4 lessons ago. And we started talking about the power of purpose. Yeah, the power of purpose. And I'm sure we've laid the foundation about, sorry, the power of leverage, sorry. And I'm sure we've laid we have a better understanding now on the foundation of leverage, on why I need to leverage, why I need to know those things I have around me that are my leverage points, and why I need to leverage on them. Because we realize leverage is like taking a flight from one city or one state to another, instead of you walking on your feet all through, knowing that the chances of you getting arriving at your destination late are higher when you are walking than when you are taking a flight. So leverage is, how do I make sure that before the flight moves, while I still have the plane in my around me, how do I get connected to it and then go via plane? I don't need to own the plane. That's the part, that's the real thing about leverage. It's about how I get along on the plane without necessarily having to own the plane, without necessarily having to be the one piloting it, but making sure that with the plane I'm able to connect with that plane, connect with that flight, so that I get to my own destination, not necessarily where the pilots or other passengers in the plane or in the flight are going. But I get to my own destination, and not just arriving at my own destination, but arriving there on time. So how do I fulfill my purpose and fulfill it in good time? How do I become financially free and become financially free in good time, like my own time? By leveraging on things around me that could be my own flight ticket, instead of me walking all along to get it done all by myself, which I know might take me years, or I might never even arrive if I'm not careful. So the last episode we spoke about a couple of things that could act as a leverage point, such as a gift from someone, a device, a book, access, and the like. So we just pick up from there and then just try and wrap it up as quickly as possible, knowing that we've wasted some few minutes due to the network lag. So a body of knowledge could be something you could leverage on. A body of knowledge. And how do I mean? One, knowing something, having an information ahead of others might be all you need to arrive at destination ahead of your competitors. So it's obvious that the world is changing, is gradually changing, and we are entering into the AI space, the artificial intelligence space. Some people have started making money in the artificial intelligence space. Some people have not picked interest in it at all, but some people have started learning some AI skills, AI tools, AI apps that they can use to leverage on their businesses, and it's already working for them. So while some people are beginning to get results because of the body of knowledge they have opened to them through AI, some people are still struggling with the traditional way of doing things and not getting enough result as they should. So body of knowledge can be a leverage. It could be just an information, a piece of information. It could be something you read, you just came across somewhere. While you're in a particular gathering, some people were discussing, the discussion didn't necessarily concern you, But while that discussion was going on, you picked a point and then you worked on it. We've seen people say like, well, sorry, I heard you and your friend talking about so and so the other time. Could you please plug me in on it so I know how it works and all that? Because of that body of knowledge, I am privileged to get. I got it not because the information was for me, but it was a conversation between two or three other persons. And because I was just fortunate to be there at that time, I was able to tap into that body of knowledge and I was able to make good use of it. So a body of knowledge could be a leverage point for you, something you caught on the internet while you are just scrolling through. You just saw an information. For instance, a particular country is allowing so much, so number of immigrants with so level of skill or academic qualification. That body of knowledge alone might help you gain access out of wherever you are to where you want to be, and while leaving others behind, not because they are not smart, not because they are not educated, but because they are not open, they are not opportune to get that body of knowledge that you also have. Your leverage can also be people. Last week we spoke about access, and we spoke about how access can be to a thing, to an information, to a place, to a body of persons. A whole lot of individuals, especially youth, have misused and abused the place of access to people. You could have quality people in your circle, could have quality people in your community. If you don't know how to leverage on them, by leverage on them, I don't mean use them abusively. I mean being able to tap into what they represent and making and being able to stand on their shoulders so you can see further than you would have normally seen, or so they can carry you further than you will have actually gotten to by hard work or labor all by yourself, so that you can get beyond what your mates naturally get. So for instance, I could know the managing director of a company while I was in school, probably even in college. So all along, I have just been the regular guy who is seen as a humble guy, a calm guy, one who is not problematic. And while I am out of school, because he is still the managing director of probably an oil company or whatever it is, I could now reach out to him and say, "Sir, so are the business ideas I have for you that I know will help make your company take your company to the next level." He goes through it, he's interested in it, he calls me, and then because he sees I have a solution that will help his company or his brand, and they can move his brand or his company forward, because of that access I have to him initially, that has become my leverage, because I could have those ideas, but while trying to submit the proposal or something, it might never get to his desk. Why? Because whoever is the receptionist makes sure that is nonchalant about it, or nobody is of interest, is not interesting to anybody because nobody ever had time to open the file. But because I know the MD, I am submitting the proposal through the MD. Because of that, my proposal gets reviewed, and not just one person's review. A body of educated people review it, and then they feel, wow, whoever wrote this should be called upon, and then let him give further analysis and let us see how we can execute this together. So because I know him, not because I know any other person, just that him that I know is enough for me to gain access to whatever it is I need to gain access to, and also become a person of purpose who is fulfilled and also become financially free. So that I have access to people, you need to begin to check everybody you have access to in your contact list, in your community, in your religious houses. You just don't know them by mistake. They can be of value to you in one place or another. They could connect you to one source of information. They could be the only connection you need to the next right person. The person you are trying to meet, the person you are trying to someday get in contact to, there's somebody in your circle that might just have that person's phone number, that might have the phone number or the contact number of someone or another person who can help you reach that person. But if you don't make good use of the people you have access to today, you might not be able to gain access to those people you have intentions to eventually gain access to. So there's just one client you might know in your business, for instance, that will give you connection to other big clients that you are beginning to wonder how did it even happen so fast. But it was just one person you gained access to, and the person found so much value in whatever it is your product or your service is giving, and then the person feels, I will introduce you to my friends. Do you mind come speaking to my friends about your product? Do you mind come sharing your services with my league of friends? And then they bring it to the circle, and everybody buys your idea, and you begin to service everybody the same way you are servicing that one person, so people can become a leverage point. A might have people B does not have, and A will begin to get results B may never get in lifetime. Not because B is not smart, not because B is not intelligent, not because B is not educated, but not because he's not focused either, but because he doesn't have access to one person. Leverage. It could be parental likes. So your dad, peradventure, just likes music, for instance, and begins to get musical instruments. And from there, you could develop a flair. You could begin to see things of music around you, and then gradually start trying your hands on this, on that. You are out with him to a studio. He has a studio session to record with someone, and that, and you begin to move from one location to another with him. That gradually becomes a leverage for you that could make you do so well in the music industry years later than someone who didn't have a father who had any interest in music. So while somebody is getting free access to ride on that plane of, okay, go the music lane, somebody else might be getting a serious issue at home, a serious attack at home. Why? Because that other person's parent does not have interest in music. You could have a parent that has interest in finance, like this book Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you go through it, there's this story Robert Kiyosaki helped paint about a father liking to talk about finance, the other one doesn't like finance being or money matters being discussed at the table. If by adventure your own father becomes that one who does not like money matters being discussed at the table, you might naturally not have any flair for anything that has to do with finance or financial freedom. While the other one, who is already used to financial discussions, hanging out at financial seminars, seeing his dad go to financial conferences and all, the chances of him picking up and moving fast in the financial space are higher than the one whose father does not love the issue of finance. So your parental likes can become a leverage for you. That your dad loves this, that your mom loves this, and then you are walking in that line by default. Not that they forced you to go in that lane. That your mom is into your dad or your mom is into farm, and then you just by interest love agric, and then they see a way you can synergize. That might be a reason why they'll give you some massive support and push, and because of the tools and materials already available, you might begin to get results that your mates 10 years down the line, they are still trying to get put resources together to get one of the tools that you have about 20 of, and it will be as if you are the smartest of all or you are the best of all, not because you are necessarily, but because you had a leverage point. You had something to leverage on. And that thing is that something your parent likes, you also like. And then you're able to pull resources together and you are beginning to get results. So other people's circle could also be your leverage point. You might not know the president, for instance, personally, the president of your country personally, but you can know someone who knows a league of governors, who a league of governors are his friends. And because he knows a league of governors who are his friends, there's every possibility that amongst those league of governors, three, four might have personal contact with the president. So your leverage will be the person circle who knows a league of friends as governor. That's your first leverage point. Once you are able to get into that circle and is able to connect you with that person who knows the president, you will now leverage on that person's network, that person's circle, and be able to get connected to the president. So that gives you a leverage point. So if I don't know the first person who introduces me to the League of Governors, I might never meet the president of my country till he is out of office. And whatever it is agenda I want to drive, it might just be the best person who is able to key into it because the vision aligns with his own personal vision for the country. So within the space of its tenure, do I have access to someone's circle who has an access to another person's circle that can connect me to the president's circle? If I don't have, I might not do so much in that regard, even though I have all the things in my head that I want to do, that I know the president, if he sees this, is going to buy into it and key into it, and it's going to help the country go very fast. If the things around you, if the things with you, if the things on you are not leveraged on, the chances of you struggling through life and getting little as a result to show for it are higher. This time and age, social media has become a very great leverage point for somebody. Even though I still see a thousand and one, a million and one youth still shine away from social media. I ask, what business do you do? What do you do? I'm into this, I'm into that. So why don't I see your content? Do you have a social media page for that? You say no, I'm still building. I'm not really a social media person. In this time and age, you're not really a social media person. Yet you have a social media account where on or you're on X, you're on Instagram, you're on Facebook, you're on TikTok. You consume all forms of information, all forms of content, but you as a person don't even ever get to post out something, to sell out yourself to the world. Social media platforms are a great way, in fact, a great tool that you must leverage on in this time and age. The world wants to see what you are doing. The world wants to see what you can deliver. The world wants to hear from you. The world wants to see your content. Enough of you trying to market heavily on WhatsApp when you are not even using a space where you have, see, at most probably you have 1,000 contacts. Okay, maybe you know people so well. You have 2,000 contacts. The chances of you scrolling through 2,000 contacts every time now and then to get in touch with them with your product are slim. One, the chances of 200 of them checking, going through your all of your status on a daily basis are slim. But imagine you using that same energy to push your content on Facebook, to push your product on Instagram, to push your content, your product all around across. The chances of thousands of people coming in contact with those content, with those products, with your services are higher than you struggling to push it on WhatsApp. Why? Because you are not the social media person, because you don't want to be really known like that. See, the chances of you fulfilling purpose in good time and also becoming financially free doing so is that you are able to serve a whole lot of people who has what it takes to reward you financially for what you do or for your products. You are able to serve them at a large scale. And the only way you can serve them at a large scale is that you have to leave your circle. You have to leverage on the things you have so
It's 12
can
o'clock.
skyrocket to a new level. So the question is, the things around you, the things with you, the things on you, the things in you